A new technology is helping physicians find disease earlier and without invasive procedures. We went to Kansas to see how they're catching what other tests might miss.
The name of diagnostics and deciding on what therapy to provide to a particular patient is having information or biomarkers that can actually provide the information necessary.
BioFluidica is leveraging the recent advancement in microfabrication and liquid handling to produce plastic microfluidic chips that are used for isolation of liquid biopsy markers.
Let's talk about cancer. When children are diagnosed with a leukemia, they are treated with chemotherapy. And then after they have their disease, then they look for possible signs of recovery or recurrence of that disease. Now, instead of sticking a needle into the bone marrow, now all we need to do is to take a blood sample and then look for markers that tell the doctor if that patient is responding to therapy or not.
Tumors are made up of a number of different cell types and cell biomarkers that when you sample from one site, you may miss those really important markers that exist in another site, and those are found in your bloodstream. Traditionally, doctors use a solid tissue biopsy or a bone marrow biopsy, both of which are very invasive, painful, and expensive.
We are able to specifically isolate the biomarkers of interest.
Are we going to get to a point where every single cancer is managed by a liquid biopsy? And the only thing I would say to that is, I sure hope so.
This is definitely transforming patient care. So joining me now is the team behind this technology, the BioFluidica CEO, Greg Studdard, and founder, Dr. Stephen Soper. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
So I guess, Dr. Soper, I'll start with you.
Sure.
We highlight the recovery from childhood leukemia and the markers if there's a recurrence. I'm guessing you're looking at a lot of other liquid biopsy potentials as well.
Absolutely. And let me give you something completely different than any of the oncology diseases, and that's with stroke. So stroke is a very interesting disease. It's a very prevalent one. However, no IVD or in vitro diagnostic for tests, which is basically looking for biomarkers in any sample to help diagnose that disease.
I want to make sure I hear you. Not potential for stroke, but actually brain injury.
Yes, absolutely.
Like subclinical beneath radiographic imaging or something?
Correct. It will replace radiographic imaging. It takes a while for the patient to get to the hospital before they can undergo a CT or MRI scan. And what happens? Time lapses. And when that time lapse occurs, the treatment that can be used for one type of stroke is gone. So patients are not effectively treated because of the fact of failures at the diagnostic level.
Is this available now?
No. It's being currently investigated by a team that I have put in place at a stroke center in SUNY downstate New York and people at the KU Medical Center. And it's using the BioFluidica technology to isolate markers from blood that get across the blood-brain barrier,
yes,
for those who know that,
yeah,
and then get into circulation very quickly and efficiently.
But the liquid biopsy is sort of a different concept in a sense. How did you get involved with all this?
I've led companies for many different diagnostic tests over the years.
And liquid biopsy is a hot area.
And it's the new direction.
Well, I'm just suspecting that it's sort of an unlimited potential in a way. The more because tumors are very complicated.
Yes,
and they have lots of things on their surface. They release lots of things into this bloodstream early sometimes, and that's where this really will make a difference.
And this is what's really important in the oncology field,
Yeah,
is early detection.
Yeah,
so for example, you may have one tumor cell in circulation in a mill.
We hope.
Well, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And with about 10 to the 9th, a billion other blood-based cells. And
right,
so it's very difficult to find those without damaging.
Right,
let me just
that's the needle in the haystack. Right?
Absolutely. That's the paradigm that people always put in place.
Right, yeah.
And it just so happens that BioFluidica has the technology to pull on and grasp those tumor cells.
I think you make a good point in terms of needle in a haystack. I mean, we're talking about our system being able to identify things on a picogram level. And Most people don't deal with picograms.
10 to the 9th.
Yeah, I had to look that up.
10 to the minus 9.
And you know, it takes a trillion picograms
Right?
to
Is it
equal
minus 9 or is it minus 12?
1 milligram.
Minus 12.
Minus 12.
Yeah, minus 12.
Nano and picos are
Yeah.
confused.
Yes,
Yeah.
nano is minus 9.
Yeah.
All right, it's a trillion to 1 milligram. So for picograms. So that's the level of sensitivity of our platform.
So I want to emphasize to the audience that, so what the future is here, you will be able to take a blood test and know whether you have cancer in your body below the limits of detection of symptoms or physical findings or radiographic findings. And I imagine a world where you're getting that at least once a year, right? Wouldn't that be?
Absolutely. And you know what? It can just be added to your normal protocol for your physical. Take a blood test.
This is like breathtakingly important stuff.
Absolutely.
Next generation.
Yeah, if we get there.
Well, a lot of people focus at different stages in the process, algorithms at the end to improve the analytics. We focus on the biology at the beginning.
Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing this with us. To learn more about the science behind these innovations, go to biofluidica.com. More Health Uncensored coming up.